On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. The big battle seems to be forming, and I think Trump has definitely indeed done a checkmate against this guy. We're not going to bury the lead. It's actually going to be covered very early on in the story. But Trump's talking about some crazy stuff in his trip out to North Carolina and also when he went out to California. So huge things coming around there. Also a lot of announcements around appointments. Also got some announcements around some of the executive orders and things that are happening, and now some examples of people being all pissy about it. It's all sorts of fun. We've also got people that are, well, about this close to being arrested for helping illegal migrants stay in this country when they're not supposed to. We got a lot of things that are brewing. Let's definitely get into it. Want to start off where Trump was, in fact, North Carolina, apologize. Yeah, that's what I said. He is talking to them about the possibility of shutting down FEMA. Holy crap.
I'll also be signing an executive order to begin the process of fundamentally reforming and overhauling FEMA, or maybe getting rid of FEMA. I think, frankly, FEMA is not good. I think when you have a problem like this, I think you want to go and, whether it's a Democrat or Republican governor, you want to use your state to fix it and not waste time calling FEMA. And then FEMA gets here and they don't know the area, they've never been to the area, and they want to give you rules that you've never heard about. They want to bring people that aren't as good as the people you already have. And FEMA's turned out to be a disaster. And you could go back a long way. You could go back to Louisiana. You could go back to some of the things that took place in Texas. It turns out to be the state that ends up doing the work. It just complicates it. I think we're going to recommend that FEMA go away. And we pay directly. We pay a percentage to the state. But the state should fix it.
So that's a huge step if you think about how much bureaucracy and waste FEMA has, and probably likely how much money is being bled into other projects. Something to keep in mind. Hurricane survivors out there in North Carolina are talking to Trump directly, and I love how they're talking, and he's literally standing there listening. It's pretty cool.
I'm still pending. I can't get money from FEMA until I fix the road and bridge and send in my proof that it's fixed and everything. It's been a nightmare, and I totally feel like that we have been forgotten. If it had not been for our fellow American citizens who stepped up to help us, I don't know what we would have done. I have 5 neighbors around me who completely lost everything. You know, I have damage to my house, and I don't feel entitled. I'm embarrassed to even say I need help, because you know, and sometimes there's even that survivor's guilt is what they're calling it, but you feel guilty to even be alive sometimes. You know, when you look around, you see your neighbors that are gone, and it's just, you know, we need help. I wrote a letter to send to Congress. You know, I don't understand what's going on. If we can't get FEMA help, then will you guys help us? Will you step up and be our fellow citizen? Will you step up and be our neighbor and send us something? Help us get our community back. I could go on. It's just I don't know, it's just heartbreaking. I appreciate you.
Good daughter you have, huh? Good daughter. Take care of Mom. And your son must be great.
My son is great.
No, he sounds like a real leader. Smart.
He really is. Hike
How
in.
would you have been if he didn't come and get you?
I don't know. I'd just would have been there because the only thing we could do, there was no way to get out there. The only thing we could do is just hike up to the church, the first church that was up there, about 3 miles, just to get, you know, maybe what we needed or something. I don't know. Yeah. He is. Thank you.
It's amazing how much Trump is just awesome, right? Like how he literally just shows up and he listens and he seems to really care. When Biden doesn't have time for any of this, he can't talk to anybody live, none of that, right? Like this is so much different having Trump in office versus what we've been living with over the past number of times. California Governor Gavin Newsom is planning on crashing Trump's arrival tour in when he comes into California. I don't know if he's talking about it here or not. We'll check it out.
Tomorrow, it's my understanding. I look forward to being there on the tarmac to thank the president, welcome him, and we're making sure that all the resources he needs for a successful briefing are provided to him. There's no limit to the resources we'll provide for that briefing. And as I say, I'm grateful that he appears to be coming out.
Plan on talking to him tomorrow?
Well, I certainly plan on being there at the tarmac and look forward to continuing to work not just with him, the administration, as it relates to the disaster recovery, as it relates to our efforts to collaborate with multiple federal agencies over the course of the next many years as we organize our approach to immediately address the debris removal. We're working now with the Army Corps of Engineers. So there's a direct relationship to debris removal in the Trump administration, and to make sure that's done effectively, not just quickly, but effectively, and making sure it's done safely.
Now, interestingly, Trump actually has some things to call out. Oh, I thought I had it here. Where the hell was it? Yeah, hopefully I got it someplace. But Trump actually basically said there's some requirements. And one of the key things is voter ID in Los Angeles was one of the requirements. And the secondary requirement, drawing a blank on it, other requirement had to do with the state. Oh, yeah, bringing water from the upper reservoir where they're draining it off into the ocean to actually bring it down into Southern California. So these are two things that have to happen. Otherwise, no go. No money. No money, no honey. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Phoenix, Arizona, beware. Any of you guys that live in this area, you definitely want to be very, very concerned. And if this is actually true, you know what's happening in advance. Now, the fact that we're bringing attention to it, it's going to make it much harder to happen. So maybe we're saving you guys, maybe not. But be aware. This is happening in Buckeye. So this is outside of Buckeye in Arizona. There's apparently a billionaire purchased 24,000 acres, and there's an additional 2,800 acres in Buckeye itself. A few years ago, Bill Gates had announced plans to build a smart city outside of Buckeye, Arizona, through his subsidiary Mount Lemon Holdings. Folks, Progressive Insurance is canceling insurance policies in that area due to high wildfire risks. This is the same area where they're planning a 15-minute city, much like what happened in Palisades, except I couldn't find any records of a plan to have a city there, but Los Angeles was definitely one of the places that wanted to have a smart city. Looks like they might have more secretly chosen that path, but Arizona, beware. Be very aware. And if you're in those areas, make sure you're checking on fire hydrants so that they exist. Make sure any sort of reservoirs that you have, keep tabs on them. If any of you guys can get trail cams or something on those where we can at least look at them at a regular basis and make sure they've got water. The second they seem like they're going down for maintenance, be very concerned. It'll probably be during windy times. Beware. We have seen it happen way too many times, haven't we? Way too many times. So we'll continue to try to stay on top of that, but we're catching on to some of the nonsense that they keep doing. There it is. Cool. All right, this should have been pulled over, but it's good enough. It's close enough to where it needs to be. Here's Trump talking about the two conditions.
Funding to Los Angeles because of its sanctuary city policy.
I want to see two things in Los Angeles: voter ID, so that the people have a chance to vote, and I want to see the water be released and come down into Los Angeles and throughout the state. Those are the two things. After that, I will be the greatest president that California has ever seen. I want the water to come down and come down to Los Angeles and also go out to all the farmland that's barren and dry. You know, they have land that they say is the equivalent of the land in Iowa, which is about as good as there is anywhere on earth. The problem is it's artificial because they artificially stop the water from going onto the land. So I want two things. I want voter ID for the people of California, and they all want it. Right now, you don't have voter ID. People want to have voter identification. You want to have proof of citizenship. Ideally, you have one-day voting, but I just want voter ID as a start, and I want the water to be released, and they're going to get a lot of help from the U.S. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a little while. We'll see you at the site.
Being a California and a MAGA California particularly, I absolutely 100% support this. Now, I feel horrible for my brethren that have lost their homes and need help, but at the same time, it's a small price to pay to make sure we've got safe elections and water in the area. That's all we're asking for. And I feel like this is the only chance Trump's ever going to be able to have to try to even the playing field for us that are Californians, that are MAGA. This is the only chance, or one of, we'll see. But this is going to get the discussion going And I think a lot of people on even the left will be like, that's reasonable. They probably don't even know that water is being just dumped into the ocean. So that's, I don't know, pretty big deal. At least in my opinion. This I didn't want to play, and I haven't actually listened to it. I like Jon Stewart. You guys know that. AOC I almost always ignore, like 99.9% of the time. This was different because she's actually calling out her friends and, well, not her friends, but people on her side of the fence for stock trade issues. Yeah. Don't know what the hell's going on, but we're going to enjoy the moments when we get them.
There need to be Democrats who walk the walk and talk the talk. There is an insane amount of hypocrisy, and the hypocrisy is what gets exploited to use the cynicism. And wherever there's a hypocritical window, for example, I think one of the most biggest examples of this is insider trading in Congress. Like,
dude, I don't know if I do I give snaps? I don't know what the kids do anymore, but like, dude, it is that's so crazy.
It's so crazy. It's crazy. I mean, like and this is the thing. It's like people think that everyday people are stupid. I'm like, do you all really think that people don't see this shit? Like,
they sit on a committee, they get information about a drug or a contract or a thing. They immediately make a call. The stockbroker changes things, and their portfolio swells.
Explodes. It explodes.
What are we doing?
And you're doing this on public trust.
Right.
On like taxpayer finance, public, facilities. Like it, of course.
You're regulating the market that you're trading on.
Exactly. And
you run the casino. And
then we're supposed to act like money doesn't only corrupts Republicans? Give me a fucking break.
Oh, I love it. She's talking dirty even, and she's gorgeous, obviously, duh, but so ugly typically with most of her policies. Whatever the case is, I'm liking where she's at the moment. For one moment in time, she was one of the most beautiful women I've ever laid eyes on. For one moment in time. Yeah, it probably is never going to last past that. Trump orders the release of the final classified JFK assassination documents. Now, we are going to put a big giant asterisk on this. Remember, the root word of asterisk is ass. We're going to throw a little ass on this for a good reason, but we're going to start with the thing. This is great. This is awesome. The asterisk is going to remind us how this is maybe not quite as cool as we want.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Okay, thank you very much.
At least there's actually words on his, unlike the ones Biden would sign. They'd just be blank documents. So, one thing to keep in mind. Yeah, we'll do this first. We'll do it live. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was still funny for us that have been in media in any way, shape, or form. All right, the Jesse Waters things doesn't need to be brought up. But this is another thing to point out. I think the next slide is the one that I've been referencing. So, post 3783, Q post, was for January 23rd, 2020. It says, truth and facts will prevail. The public will learn the truth. Now, I was talking about something completely different in the link. The link didn't, I don't think, had anything to do with with assassination of JFK. But the statements, just the words themselves, are oddly appropriate for the time. But this is, I think, relevant. I think this is something important to keep in mind. This is something that's going to suck a little on this. So as excited as we all are, this is 17 Absolute Redux 76 that put this out. as excited as we all are about the JFK files, let's not forget what Ezra Watnick said the other day, that there are files that weren't handed over by the CIA in the first place. And those are more than likely the files which would implicate our government, the Vatican, and the Mossad. My guess is we get some new tidbits, but not the golden goose we are all hoping for. Who knows, though? I am game for being surprised. And I agree. And I think let's temper it down a little. We might not get everything we want, but there are some key people that are involved in this administration that want to see the truth come forward. Mike Pompeo had a problem with some of this information coming out. He was CIA. Could be tied to some of it, but I don't know. I think that was a kind of smoke and mirrors for this. Kind of like, no, we can't have what's in my right hand while you slowly hide the thing in your left. And you're like, all right, fine, there it is. When all along the thing in your left hand was what I really wanted. It's a good tactic. It's used often. It's very effective. What are you going to do? Even works on me, too. It pisses me off. Like magic tricks. That pisses me off. Because I try so hard to figure out. Like, they're doing something. I know it's not real. This church leader, it's just funny because they're harboring illegals. And they think that there's this problem with the fact that there's this crossing of sacred spaces. There's spaces that nobody should be allowed to come in and do anything. Well, that's how we end up with rockets inside of churches and stuff like that. So all said. But what's even more fun is when the individual inside this sacred space is literally breaking the law. Yeah, it's not going to work out well.
It is horrifying, and that is the point.
Hannah Hafter at Episcopal City Mission says the network of churches sheltering families of mixed immigration statuses makes them a target for ICE and won't be complying with them unless they have a signed warrant.
Just because they aren't respecting churches as safe spaces doesn't mean that the people in the churches are not going to treat it as a safe and secure space.
And you will end up in a safe, secure space called jail. I don't know how big it is exactly. My best understanding is they're reasonably small. But get your own bed, you get your own toilet, and you get a sink, best I understand. So, sometimes, maybe in your case, you'd get a male that would be with you. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. But yeah, this is what they think they should be allowed to do. They think they're above the law. They keep talking about how no one's above the law. We've got sacred spaces that you can't come in. But no one's above the law. Well, kind of sounds like they're above the law to me, a little. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you right now, Chris, is we arrested 1,300 people. Over 1,000 of them were criminals. Who are the other ones? They're either fugitives who've been through immigration court in order to remove but didn't leave and became a fugitive, or collaterals. Where did the collateral arrests happen? In sanctuary cities, because they forced us into the community. Look, I said from day one, no one's off the table. If the United States are illegally, you got a problem. But we are concentrating on public safety threats first. And it just makes sense. I don't care if a Republican, a Democrat, Independent. Why not let law enforcement go into a county jail, a taxpayer county jail, to arrest a guy that you locked in a jail cell? So obviously the public safety threat, that would solve a lot of this problem. I hope the sanctuary cities come around. I really hope once they see what we're doing, and we'll invite you out, we'll be very transparent. Once they see that we really are concentrated on the criminals, that they'll come to us and sit at the table and work with us.
I freaking love this dude. Love him. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that to his face. I don't feel like it would be received as well as it could, but love the dude. White House posted this. That's Trump now. It's just, I don't know. I'm not tired of saying it yet, that's for sure. Just as he promised, President Trump is sending a strong message to the world. Those who enter the United States illegally will face serious consequences. Promises made, promises kept. They've literally sent out their first deportation flights. Military aircraft, doing it on taxpayer dime, but if you think about how much money we're saving by removing them, and the fact that, these are already well-maintained aircraft, it's probably way cheaper than giving the commercial aircraft a chance at it, right? Because they'd overcharge the government, we know. And they might have been asked even. But it might be too expensive. So Trump's like, we'll just throw them on a military airplane. Fuck you. And pretty much, c'est la vie is how it's moving. So, FBI and Homeland Security raid Office of Sanctuary Cities star immigration attorney who bragged about crimigation expertise as Trump deports hundreds of illegals. literally coming after this guy. I don't know what's in here. Let's see.
First at 10, new details tonight on the investigation into a Providence lawyer and now former Central Falls municipal judge. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Shannon Heggie. Joseph Molina Flynn resigned from his position shortly after FBI agents began raiding his office in Providence this morning. Kayla Fish brings us the latest.
Well, FBI agents have since left this area of downtown Providence. We spent our night trying to get in contact with Joseph Molina Flynn for comment, but at this hour, we haven't heard back. No answer at the door of Joseph Molina Flynn's home Thursday night. Federal agents spent the day at his law office building in Providence, where an FBI spokesperson confirmed they were executing a search warrant, though no word on what they were looking for. Sources tell Target 12 the Providence immigration attorney is under investigation over allegations he defrauded people seeking representation on immigration-related issues. As of Thursday evening, he hadn't been criminally charged. According to his website, Molina Flynn founded his law practice in 2015, handling immigration, family, and criminal matters.
Hay que prepararnos, hay que tener todos nuestros documentos.
We spoke with him weeks ago on our Spanish news program Doce Informa about his advice for those in the immigrant community ahead of President Trump taking office. Sources confirmed to Target 12 that this case is not related to the Trump administration's executive orders on immigration, and the investigation into Molina Flynn began before Trump became president. Now, Molina Flynn also served as a municipal judge in Central Falls, but stepped down from that position following the FBI raid. Central Falls Mayor Maria Rivera, who appointed him to that position in 2021, confirmed his resignation and called the raid deeply concerning. In Providence, I'm Kayla Fish, 12 News.
Kayla Fish. What the? Kayla Fish? Really? First off, if that's your real name, shouldn't use it anyways. Second off, really? That's the name you came up with? Couldn't be Kayla Funk. Couldn't be Kayla Finicky. Couldn't be Kayla Fizzle. Could have been all sorts of other letters involved too, but Fish? It's Rhode Island, right? Like lobster or something would have been better maybe? Crab? Fish? I mean, I know you do fishing out there, but whatever. Why? Maybe she's like, well, Dan, it's accomplished what I wanted. You're talking about it. Making fun of you, yeah. I mean, again, there's no bad publicity. Fish. Mrs. Fish? Is it Ms. Fish? Fish sticks? What? Trump DHS makes key move against migrants, allowed in via this controversial Biden parole program. Thursday memo notes that parole is a positive exercise of enforcement discretion to which no alien is entitled. Done. You don't get parole when you're illegally here. It's not granted. It's not allowed. You are next on the list. If you are here on parole, you're illegal. You should definitely be looking over your shoulder. In fact, did you just hear something? I think you did. What was that? What was that? Bastards. Again, I love immigrants. Very involved with one. It's fantastic. Very happy about it. She doesn't like this nonsense. She didn't skip the line. She actually got citizenship. And she had to work very hard for it. In fact, she had to do something she hates doing, which is reading words to study for that stupid test that she had to take. In fact, she probably knows more about this country than most Americans do. She doesn't like it. I don't like it because I think it's messed up. So I don't really care. And people just call me racist for it. They don't call her racist. They just go like, really? That's weird. No, it's not. You guys are weird. You think that it's okay. Like, that's ridiculous. Trump administration plans to take this birthright citizenship fight to the Supreme Court. That's what I said yesterday. It's going to happen. It's okay. No biggie. We've stopped most everybody coming across. In fact, I'm sure the first thing Border Patrol are like, pregnant, push her back. All right? She goes back. She's not staying here. Don't give a shit. You're going back to where you came from. But I get to, I'm here. If you can't pop that baby out in about the 4 seconds, I'm about to put you back across the border. Sorry. Ain't happening. Ain't happening at all. Is what I'm saying. Not on my watch. Not this time. They drew first blood. I keep doing that wrong. I haven't actually listened to this federal employee. I just realized it's obviously a transgender person, and they're upset about the fact that DOGE is like, you got to go back to the office. And they're like, oh my God. So I don't know what their oh my God is going to be. I'm kind of borderline curious. I'm going to watch it with you guys. We'll see what happens with this colored hair soon-to-be strange glasses. Not sure if it's a boy or a girl. You get the picture.
As a government employee, what's so ironic about all of this shit going on with Trump making us go in person 5 days a week to promote efficiency and also establishing the Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE. What's really funny is because of all of this news and all of the change in policy, we are yapping more at work. We are trying to digest everything that's going on. We cannot get any work done because of how much information intake that existing in this administration requires. And we're not yapping just to yap. We're yapping because every single day a memo comes down from God knows where, telling us that there's a new rule that we need to enforce that for a job that does not relate to what we're doing. Like, oh, you work for the FDA, guess what? Now you're gonna have to enforce immigration. Any fucking federal employee, guess what? Go snitch on your fucking colleagues if they do anything related to DEI now. Like, this week has been such a whirlwind, I cannot get work done.
Yeah, so you're going to get fired most likely. And I mean, another problem you're obviously having is this giant zit on your forehead. What the fuck is that? That is probably a tumor. You should seriously get that looked at. That is definitely ingrown. It's like an iceberg, right? The part that's outside is just this teeny tiny bit. Fucking down below, then you got like a foot. It's going through the other side of your brain. Probably. I don't know. Maybe I'm being rough. I thought it was funny. You know what? This was put out. Homeland Security put this document out on the 22nd, 2 days ago. DHS colleagues, we are taking steps to close all agency diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility offices and end all DEIA-related contracts in accordance with President Trump's executive orders titled Ending Radical and Wasteful Government DEI Programs and Preferencing, and initial rescissions of harmful executive orders and actions. These programs divide Americans by race, waste taxpayer dollars, and result in shameful discrimination. We are aware of efforts by some in government to disguise these programs by using coded or imprecise language. If you are aware of a change in any contract description or personnel position description since November 5th, 2024, to obscure the connection between the contract and DEIA or similar ideologies, please report all facts and circumstances to DEIA truth at opm.gov within 10 days. There will be no adverse consequences for timely reporting this information. However, failure to report this information within 10 days will result in adverse consequences. Thank you for your attention to this important matter. He's giving everyone a chance, and whistleblowers a chance, to call out stuff that they know is happening that they're not happy about. I'm sure there's plenty of people. There's like that one dude that doesn't like all this crap and just kind of stays quiet because otherwise he's going to get beat up by the purple-haired, red-headed weirdos, whatever. What's the other color? Pink, right? The purple and pink people will come and get him, or blue. They like them weird shades. So I'm sure they're going to get narked out. I don't think there's any chance in hell that doesn't happen. In fact, next step would be like, we'll offer you a small reward to admit it's happening. That's done. Done deal. State Department halts X passport gender marker applications. Literally said, anybody, and this is Secretary of State Marco Rubio's directing this, he's directing the state departments to freeze applications in the passport pipeline with X selected as the gender identifier. Literally. You may have gotten one already, but if you're somebody trying to get one and you haven't got one that's got X as your gender, it ain't happening. It's frozen. It'll likely be kicked back. You're going to have to choose one or the other. Odds are you're going to try to go with the new one, but that might not be legal either. And you, God forbid, you actually mess up on a passport, because you may never get a passport if you lie, right? It's going to suck a little bit for some people. The move follows President Donald Trump's executive order, yada, yada. You guys get the picture. We're kind of heading in a fun direction when it comes to all that good stuff and grooviness, I think we could even probably say. Target rolls back its DEI initiatives, the latest big company to retreat. A number of companies have done it, but now Target is joining. And we remember how Target and Walmart, I think, think it was Walmart, but they were both kind of advertising some of this DEI transgendery stuff in weird kind of ways, weren't they? Books and the way it was like right in front of the store, right in front of kids sections. It doesn't seem like that's happening anymore. Again, the world is changing. New golden era. They were trying to take us down a path. The deep state, their path is over. Exactly how this new path plays, we'll see. Don't know for sure, but it is going to be interesting. Now, we do know they like to try to get us sick. That's pretty much a common thing. In fact, many think, actually, I talked about this yesterday, but I saw some other people speculating about it. It made me proud of myself for saying it first, or at least in my mind, hearing it first. But the fact that so many of us know that the deep state, or Trump silenced the CDC, NIH, and any of those health departments, he silenced them from making any public statements at all. Any public-facing statements from those organizations is prohibited right now. Why do you think he did that? Maybe because they were planning on trying to push another pandemic. So that's one thing. We've got him helping us, and that's freaking awesome. Another way you can seriously help yourself, not just you, but you're also your four-legged loved ones, is an immune system booster. Now, it helps with a lot of stuff, actually. There's a couple people I know that have, one of them I had on my show, and he talked about how he had a major tumor going on, started taking gobs of this, and tumor went away. Literally went away. They didn't have to ever perform surgery, and they were supposed to at some point. So there is power to this mushroom that's in here. It's called Coriolis versicolor. You can't get too much of it. It is an amazing helper in immune systems. It seems to work very well based off studies in dogs, in cats, horses, people, probably other animals. I'm going to be honest. There's only 4 animals, 4 if you count humans, 4 animals that we really sell to on this particular website. But I'll be honest, any of you guys have other animals that might eat some of the cool stuff that's got this mushroom in it, probably be some benefit as well. I was thinking birds, and there's probably nothing in here that birds would eat unless you have a bird of prey. They'll probably maybe try the mojos, but it's not really fresh. But it is liver. Dogs and cats love it. It's got that Coriolis versicolor on it. Go to danradiostyle.petclub247.com. That's danradiostyle.petclub247.com. Look at all the cool, crazy stuff that you can get. I mean, they got the dogs, cats specifically. So mush puppies is what a lot of people get into. It's like a cookie. They've also got some great foods. If you've got a dog that's maybe a little further down the age spectrum, or maybe got some funky like coat issues, or just whatever. Cancers can be. Depends how far along it is. But these things can actually start to help in significant ways. So depending on where your animal's at in its process, special sauce is like some liquidy or it's like paste or whatever that you can put on top of its regular food. They've got a number of different kinds of food, both freeze-dried, hard crunchies, and then canned as well. They got dog biscuits. They've got mutt mints that help with the breath and everything else. They've got chill doggies and little cold treats. A lot of different ways to get this mushroom inside your animals and help them. They've also got better toys, too, by the way. Look at the toys. Look at the ingredients, if they'll even show them to you. But a lot of these toys are made with lead. A lot of them have lead in them, especially your dogs and cats. And so they're playing with these toys, biting and licking and all that. Well, they're getting stuff in them that they shouldn't be getting. There's some better toys that you can choose. There's a nipster thing for the cats. And, of course, cats, they don't like the cookies, but they do like the mojos. And they've got the special sauce and the foods and all that good stuff as well. And then this little nipster thing. There is this pet balm, and you can get it for people and horses, too. So any of those, like the dog's nose or the horse's, I don't think their nose. I don't know where you'd put it on a horse. I don't know. Horses scare the hell out of me. I love them. I've ridden them before, and they're beautiful creatures, and I've tried to stand there and pet, but they're just, so intimidating. They're giant. They could just step on me and kill me. Scares the hell out of me. But I love them, I love them when there's a fence between us a lot more. It's much better. And then I'll just pet them and give them carrots, and it's wonderful. As long as they can't step on me and kill me. For people, though, same thing. They've got a lot of really, really great products. I take this one. I like the yellow one, Enforce. You can get the green one, Enforce. It's got plus a couple other things in it. It's a slightly different pill, too. It's more of the gel cap. These are actually more like that mineral, that brown pill, if you will. They're super good. They got the Restore, Clarity. They've got a lot of really, really solid stuff. They've got the gummies, which I haven't been eating. There's only, like 6 left. But these are delicious, by the way. They taste really good. And they're like natural gummies. They're healthy. You can tell when you're eating them, too. They're like, these are really good. They got double packs, too. You can save a little money. Great stuff. Go to danradiostyle.petclub247.com. That's danradiostyle.petclub247.com. Take care of yourself, because we know what they're trying to do to us, man. We're going to try to investigate some stuff, obviously, and make sure that we can figure out how to stop it, how to stop them. Got Senate Judiciary Committee on Thursday announced an investigation into Nolens' terrorist attack that left 15 people dead on New Year's Day, as well as the explosion outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas that left the perpetrator dead on the same day. Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, Republican from Iowa, as well as Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations Chairman Ron Johnson, also Republican from Wisconsin, sent letters to the Justice Department, Department of Homeland Security, Department of Defense, and the FBI requesting more information about Nolens' attack, Shamsud-Din Jabbar's background and motive. They are also requesting more information from Meta about Jabbar's Facebook activity leading up to the deadly planned attack, noting that the Texas native, motivated by ISIS extremism, posted 5 videos to his Facebook page hours before he drove a truck through the New Year's party in Bourbon Street. There's also some questions I saw somewhere that were talking about there was literally crossover where this guy and the Tesla truck bomber dude were supposedly in the same place at the same time. Fort Bragg, I believe it was, right? Same place, same time. So might be something to that too. Hopefully the investigation will pull that out and we'll be able to make progress in figuring out the big picture. This was posted. Rep. William Timmons, Republican from South Carolina, says pardoned J6 Select Committee members should expect a subpoena soon. Buckle up. This is all quotes. Buckle up, because we are going to get to the bottom of the nonsense. Select Committee for January 6th. There's a reason that everybody on that committee was pardoned. It's because they are not telling the truth. They embellish, they lie, and we're going to show them exactly what happened because they're pardoned. They don't have an excuse not to come in and testify for us. So we are now going to get to the bottom of this, particularly the members that are no longer in office. Expect a subpoena soon. Yeah, this is happening. This is part of where the Gitmo stuff in a lot of people's minds, and or even maybe who's the trumpet player guys, right? The Brunson's case. Still don't think that's necessarily going to go through. I think this is the direction we're going to handle it. We'll see, right? We'll see. Hegseth clears the Senate hurdle and advances to the final confirmation. Barely, but he made it. That's all that matters. 51-49. Let's see. We got Susan Collins, Republican from Maine, and Lisa Murkowski, Republican from Alaska, voted no on advancing Hegseth's confirmation. Senator Mitch McConnell voted yes. So again, folks, if you guys are in Maine or Alaska, we know what has to happen, unquestionably. But his nomination is moving forward and will likely pass on party lines. So it is okay. Defense Department pauses all social media posts pending review by incoming secretary. Done. Nobody's allowed to communicate anything anymore because a lot of the crap that's being communicated is either A, being leaked and shouldn't be, or just is people doing their DEI weird stuff. So again, he's shutting down everything. And anybody that breaks it, that's the best part. And they're daring people to break it. Anybody that breaks it will, in fact, be, just highlighted in big trouble. You're insubordination for sure, at the very least. Next week, we're finding out that Senate Judiciary Committee, they're going to hold a hearing on Kash Patel's nomination for FBI director on Thursday, January 30th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That'll be a fun one to watch. I'll probably have to watch some of that live. Maybe do worse. We'll see. Kash is a big one for me. We've got this more winning. The administrative moles are being rooted out. So there was a post on January 15th, 2025 in some rag magazine here. It said, exclusive. Biden admin uses loophole to put Kamala transition aide in Trump workforce. Former Biden White House official, same thing, right? So then 8 days later, Labor Department fires Kamala aide exposed by the Daily Wire for burrowing in Trump workforce. Bye-bye. See how fun that was? They think they can hide. They think they can do whatever the deep state tells them to, right? But the problem is they don't have the protection anymore. They're normally not very smart, the people that do this, or the people that decide that they're going to take matters into their own hands because they're used to being babied. Now, you're not going to get that babying anymore. done. Florida man was arrested after allegedly climbing over a wall at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. This dude here, Bijan Arceo, 32-year-old, charged with trespassing with the intent to commit an offense. Don't know what that exactly means, but he went past a number of areas. He did not get anywhere close to where Trump would have been, though I don't think Trump was actually home at the time. The dude's been arrested. Local police are handling it. They didn't actually mention anywhere that I can remember his legal status, or whether or not he's a legal alien or illegal alien or even maybe just naturally born. So we don't know per se, but I guess more information will come out. Nobody got hurt, and they didn't get close enough to anything else. Los Angeles Times talking about officials were warned of failing water systems before the Palisades fires. The fixes never happened. Why? Because they were trying to cut budgets. Or they always wanted this fire to happen, which is likely true, or more true anyways. But records do show that LA County missed dozens of opportunities for water infrastructure improvements that experts say likely would have helped firefighters during the Palisades fire. Some of the long-delayed projects were specifically aimed at improving fire flow and ensuring enough water during emergencies. A county official said that the water system performed as designed during the Palisades fire and that additional water would have saved relatively few homes. Well, that's not true. We know that, but they can say that. We also know 117 million gallon Santa Ynez Reservoir was left empty for maintenance. Apparently, too, they were saying that it was drained just not too far before it. I thought I had seen an article that talked about how it had been in this state of disrepair for over a year, which almost made more sense. Like they didn't have the budget to actually finish the work, so they just drained it and left it that way. Whatever the case is. It's disgusting what has happened. A Republican House member introduced a resolution Thursday to amend the U.S. Constitution in order to allow President Donald Trump and any other future presidents to be elected to a third term in the White House. Trump has proven himself to be the only figure in modern history capable of reversing our nation's decay and restoring America to greatness, and he must be given the time necessary to accomplish that goal, said Rep. Andy Ogles of Tennessee. He proposed this extension. I don't like the idea, I'll be honest, but that's just my opinion. Maybe it'll grow on me or something. I know I like Trump. I'm hoping we as a society can come far enough along during these 4 years to realize that ultimately we are actually in charge. That's the whole point of what we're going through right now, folks. Trump is not the reason per se. We manifested this guy to do this because we need it. But we also have to take ownership too. And I think there could very easily be people that are in the same line as what Trump can do, that certainly know how to make deals and stuff along those lines. So we'll see. We'll see. I think bending all the rules for us is the same thing the Democrats were trying to do, to bend all the rules for them. But whatever, we'll see. I know it's different when it's like your guy, right? It's always better when it's your person that they're trying to break the rules for. Trump bans the creation of a digital dollar. Pretty cool. He's also, I guess, gotten involved, signed some order establishing cryptocurrency advisory council. So he's trying to dig into it, trying to set some rules and guidelines and boundaries. So again, we'll see where that goes. Like we talked about, definitely talks about prohibiting the creation and issuance of a central bank digital currency. The CBDC is officially banned or barred as of this point in time. So pretty strong, cool move, right? Donald Trump has pulled Fauci's security detail. I think he also pulled one other. The Pompeo story, I don't know. I saw somebody pushing that one. I don't think Pompeo's had his clearance taken. Oh, yeah, maybe it is. It's actually being Trump revoked security for his former security. So this might be true. Actually, I mean, it's CNN. I don't know. But anyway, here's Trump talking about Fauci, at least, which is kind of cool.
The security detail for Anthony Fauci was terminated last night, sir. Do you have a comment?
No, I think, when you work for government, at some point your security detail comes off. And, you can't have them forever. So I think it's very standard. If it would be for somebody else, you wouldn't be asking the question. The question is very fair. But, you work for government. We took some off other people, too. But you can't have a security detail for the rest of your life because you worked for government.
Would you feel partially responsible if something would have happened to, say, Dr. Fauci or John Bolton?
No. They all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security, too. All the people you're talking about, they can go out. I can give them some good numbers of very good security people. They can hire their own security. They all made a lot of money. Fauci made a lot of money. They all did. So if they, felt that strongly, I think that certainly I would not take responsibility.
This morning,
which is powerful when you think about it. Like Trump's like, no, here's the deal. This is why they don't get it anymore. They made plenty of money. They can afford security if they feel they need it. Too bad. So sad. We're not paying for it anymore. We're not going to take it. MyPillow.com/OTF. Coupon code OTF is powerful. They've got the classic pillow going on. You do not want to miss out on that opportunity if you do not have the pillow. The pillow is what I fell in love with the company. In fact, I've talked about it many times. The 2.0, I love the cooling technology. This pillow is just a different pillow to me. They are, if you're not anal with your pillow, it might not matter. I am ridiculously anal with pillows. I kept the same stupid thin pillow for years. I'd take it with me on travel because I hated the thicker pillows. They give me it hurt my neck. This pillow is perfect. I love this pillow. I hugely love this pillow. So cannot say enough about it. Also, My Cross. He's selling the sterling silver. I think it's like 0.86% silver. But I mean, it's beautiful though, and it's inexpensive because of it. But it's a really nice chain. The nice, beautiful cross. It's like an inch or something. It's good size. You can see him wearing it all the time. You've got that going on right now. Coupon code OTF, of course, helping out yourself and the channel and making a discount occur. It's pretty cool. Bed sheet sets, big time, going down like around $40, and they're awesome. Super deep pockets. Towels are at $29.98. That seems like they've dropped them a little bit. Incredible towels. Love these towels. Cannot say enough about them. They absorb. They don't have the weird chemical feel that I used to associate with better quality towels, like towels I'd gotten at like Bed Bath & Beyond or I don't know, like, other places. I don't know if I ever went to like Nordstrom's to buy towels. I'll be honest. I don't think I was ever at a point in my life where that made sense in any way, shape, or form. Not to mention there's not really a Nordstrom's close by. So no, but they feel different. They feel like a terry cloth robe to me is what they feel like, which is like what I think cloth should feel like. But they work better. They actually absorb. Like my other like towels, you just smear it. These actually absorb it. Like I just wipe down the same thing that I could have done with the other towel. And my pillow towels, my towels, they remove the liquid. It like goes away. It's gone. They're crazy good. They've got their awesome slippers that, if you can find your size and stuff in there, $9.50 for all the old styles. So very cool stuff. Toppers, new pillows. They got the kitchen towels, and they've also got a lot of really cool stuff in the clearance tab. Check it out at mypillow.com/OTF. That's mypillow.com/OTF. Get the best night of sleep you've ever had. Couple strange stories about Bank of America. First off, Bank of America posted this: "We will never close accounts for political reasons and don't have a political litmus test." Bank of America. And readers added some context. They said BOA has been placed on notice by 15 state attorney generals for debanking conservatives. Quote, "Your discriminatory behavior is a serious threat to free speech and religious freedom, is potentially illegal, and is causing political and regulatory backlash," said Kansas AG Chris Kobach. So there's that. What we're also finding is this occurring, which is very strange, but B of A on fire. And there's a lot of people that are concerned about where the safe deposit box contents ended up. And many would wonder, where did that? Well, they got destroyed. Did they? Did I get to come in and verify that? How do I know that my gold coins didn't survive the fire inside the safe deposit box? Who gets to keep that stuff? Who reports it? How does that happen? Think about that. It's disgusting how it's currently happening. MasterCard Visa, they failed to stop OnlyFans payments for child sex abuse content. Whistleblower says, I don't know what direction this works. Like, are they stopping the payments to the actual people doing the OnlyFans, like, naughty stuff, and then, like, not the people watching? Or are they talking about failing payments of the people watching? Because that would be messed up, right? I mean, here's the thing, in my opinion, like, if you're actually being exploited and then they don't give you the money because they're trying to teach somebody a lesson, that's kind of messed up. Like, all the people that are doing the exploitation are the problem, kind of, and it'd be a shame for the person that's being exploited to not get money. That sucks. Like, right? I mean, whatever. They got to figure out how to cancel this, and I'm not even sure what direction to read it from, so that's all said. The child sex abuse content, there's a lot of that happening. There are people that will get them to do certain things that then gets them in trouble, and they get screenshots of it, and that's... So many people, it's funny, they're like, no, I used what was the Snapchat, right? Like, it goes away in 15 seconds. It's like, yeah, all I got to do is just do a screen grab of your image while it's there for 15 seconds. It's click that picture and it's forever. Just because your picture disappears from Snapchat doesn't mean my picture disappears from my phone. No. Oh, nice. I like this. I'll leave that on for a while. Just watch that. Yeah, no, apparently not. We've got this that got put out. The Dear Mr. Adams, Mr. Anderson, Armstrong, Marcus, Ripley, and Smith. The Committee on Oversight and Government Reform is investigating improper debanking of individual and entities based on political viewpoints or involvement in certain industries such as cryptocurrency and blockchain. The committee is interested in engaging with individuals and entities debanked by their financial institutions regarding their experience and the impact of debanking on their business and operations. You see, Bank of America, nobody believes you, and we are now looking into it. So that's probably a good thing, really, right? Changes are happening. So one thing I was talking about with my buddy, today was kind of a significant day to me, and also we'll be making a big announcement that's not related to what I'm thinking about right now, but it's just I was talking to my buddy about it, and it's just like, yeah, change is everywhere. I mean, my very good friend died recently, and that was a big part of what set this change in motion. And then immediately the second I decide, and this is kind of my manifesting stuff, but it's funny, the second you decide what you're going to do, what your decision is, because sometimes we try to straddle the fence, and I was doing that for sure, and sometimes it keeps you from really indulging in either or, right? Like you need to commit. And so once I finally committed, a whole bunch of stuff started opening up. And again, it's just funny how things play out. So we are in a world of change right now. And a lot of us are going to be working through that however it happens. I'm not going to sound, I don't mean to sound any weird in any way, but it has been very common in my experience in life to generally, when I go through a period of change, I normally then start to notice it shortly after. I start to notice it in others around me, and I kind of become somebody that's able to help because I've been through it myself. I don't know, but I'm assuming that if you're not already having legitimate change happening in your life, it's going to be coming soon. It'll be okay. Just understand that the change is for the positive, and that's why you're being guided. And sometimes guiding is, it's as fierce as it needs to be. And in my particular case, it wasn't fierce in any way. It was just obvious. It was like the writing on the wall scenario. I'm like, yeah, this is what I need to do. The universe is showing me this. God is showing me this. All said, hopefully we're seeing the same kind of thing with peace on this planet. And there's been a lot of discussion around Donald Trump and peace. So I want to play this little interview they did with Putin.
I'd like to say that Russia never refused to come into contact with the United States administration. And it is through no fault of ours that the previous administration refused to communicate. I always had business-like relations with the previous US president that were very businesslike and pragmatic. But there was trust as well. Now, if he had been the president, if the victory wasn't stolen from him in 2020, maybe the Ukrainian crisis that arose in 2022 would have never appeared.
And from a sort of crazy spiritual esoteric kind of standpoint, think about the fact that we ended up having to have a second president because we, as a population, as a whole, as the big group, we're not ready. We still had so many people on one side of the fence, not ours, but on the anti-Trump defense or anti-Trump side of the fence, that literally started to change their minds over the following 4 years as the attacks against him and the attacks against everybody continued, and people started to realize this isn't right. And so this huge shift began with Trump actually losing and putting Biden in place. And then only to have Trump come in and to immediately see positive things. And even when I was at the Italian restaurant on Wednesday, this very successful stock guy that is very liberal, and the owner is very conservative. And he loves to just tear into this dude. And for some reason, the guy just puts up with it, partially because I think he's a customer. He's told me about it, but whatever. But the guy came in and he's like, I actually agree with some of the stuff that Trump's doing. And I was just like, what the heck just happened? I was I was shocked. I almost figured, I obviously didn't hear that right. This is the same story, but we listened to Russian's friend talk to us. But apparently, there's been another explosion at an oil refinery in Razazan? It's in Russia someplace. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong anyway, but huge fire. Not cool. Obviously, more attacks still happening. Deep state directly involved. Probably even Ukraine. But this is the deep state. They don't want this to end. We're this close to peace. The discussions are being had. We're this close to peace. But yet, it's not happening. There's Trump talking about Zelensky.
You said that Ukraine's ready to make a deal. Did President Zelensky tell you that?
Yeah, sure. He's ready to negotiate a deal. He'd like to stop. He's somebody that lost a lot of soldiers, and so did Russia. Lost a lot. Russia lost more soldiers. They lost 800,000 soldiers. Would you say that's a lot? I'd say it's a lot.
I personally think Zelensky probably reached out and said, "Look, you have this Fetterman guy. He wears hoodie sweat. I need green hoodie. Can you get me some green hoodies so I can instead always wear green sweatshirts? I can wear my hoodie." That's a shit accent, but what the hell? I had to roll with it. I'm surprised it didn't turn into French somewhere. Usually that's what happens to my accents. They spin into a whole nother accent because I can't hold it long enough to whatever. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will not meet the deadline for the withdrawal of its troops from southern Lebanon as outlined in the ceasefire agreement. It's very interesting that is happening. How this plays out, whether they get attacked, if this is part of the plan, which I assume it is kind of. But obviously Israel doesn't want to pull people out of a place that's immediately going to be filled with the wrong kind of people. So again, I don't know. I don't know what happens next. I don't know how Trump's going to publicly speak on this. We will see at some point here in the very, very near future, I'm quite sure. South Korea court rejects request to extend Yoon's detention. I think they basically said something to the effect of either crap or get off the pot, probably in a more Korean kind of way, though. Anyway, there's some really funny songs out there. K-pop has some really bitchin' ass songs, by the way. You guys know my stuff. Anywho, corruption investigation. So they're now actually going to transfer this case to the prosecutor's office, and they're now requesting to indict Yoon for insurrection and abuse of power. This feels very deep state to me. I think the deep state tried to do a coup. I think he actually stopped it. And I think the deep state's just coming after him hard right now. I think. I don't know. I'm kind of, again, I want to see what Trump says. Because he seems to know who's who. And I don't know. Sometimes it's very, very hard to tell. I don't know if this dude's done good stuff or not. So, we'll see. We'll see. It's a fun ride. That's all I know. It's a great movie. This was posted about the Second Amendment by Thomas Massey. It says, today I introduced H.R. 645, the National Constitutional Carry Act. No one should have to beg the government to exercise a constitutionally protected right anywhere in the country. I love that. I actually love that. I'm curious how that's going to handle in the Supreme Court, too, because that's obviously going to end up there, but it will be super cool once it does. I want to remind you guys of a great place where you can kind of get some, well, you can definitely get some cool merch. We got some great merch for the On the Fringe channel, of course. We got some really cool stuff. The Great Awakening. I'm actually wearing the shirt right now. It's got the cool stuff on the back, I think. I don't know if I can show you. Right? It's too hard. That's all. But we have the great baseball shirts as well, but you can get the same exact thing on a sweatshirt, on a long sleeve, a t-shirt, tank top. Also got the cool hat, which I'm wearing right here. Great logo. Love it. Some of you may not know, but the top of the microphone's a D. The stand makes the R, and then the S is the cord. So it's DRS. It's kind of cool. It's something I made up. I was always proud of that. May not be, there might be artists out there that are like, I could do so much better. I'm sure you could. I came up with that. It's pretty good. I even drew it. Oh, yeah, which I suck at drawing. So, yeah, it's all good. 9/11, though. There's also got these cool shirts, and they got stuff on the back, kind of elaborates on the bigger picture about, like, what's 9/11? Like, how crazy was it? Never forget. Sometimes the truth. So, like, especially if you're ever going anywhere where you're going to be standing in lines. Oh, dude, wearing something like this is a blast. Because everyone that gets stuck behind you is for shiz going to have to read your dang shirt. So that's always fun when you have that as an opportunity. So 9/11 we've also got the 6/11 fight That was that moment where, armor of God, Ephesians 6:11, and Trump saying fight, fight, fight. So again, a lot of stuff on the back of that one as well. And then the original, the 5G warfare shirt. And again, they come out all the different stuff, but it's got the different versions of, I don't know why I picked this one, probably because she's on it. She's cute. I mean, I don't mind that at all. So it's got to have, one, it's got the OTF flag, which is super cool. And then it's got the first generational battles fought with massed manpower, yada, yada, second generation, all the way down, right? And then down towards her buttocks area is the 5th generation, which is we are here, right? We are here. So we are in a very interesting time, and this is a fun way where, one, you can support the channel, support a family that's helping with this process. And there's also a link, too, for those of you that maybe want that Dan I'd Rather shirt, too. There's a link below in the description box of any of the videos, assuming it's my channel. If you don't see it, then it's probably not my channel. But those that link still exists. I believe that lady's still selling those shirts as well. So, again, a lot of great products. Go to truththread.shop. That's truththread.shop. And when you get an email for buying one of these, if you can send a picture of yourself wearing it, that would be super rad because I'll use it in my videos. We are not getting a lot of pictures. I think I only need a couple more, and I got enough for the next video. But, I kind of want to, I've waited this long. I might as well wait until I got a couple more pictures. So maybe a couple of you guys can buy some of these shirts, and you want to end up in the next video. This is a good way to do it. I'm just saying. All said. We got a lot happening in the world. The world is changing quickly. This is how I got the thumbnail today, by the way. Create an image of Donald Trump, Gavin Newsom next to each other with wildfires raging behind them. That was not bad. I think it did a pretty good job. I don't know who this is. This is supposed to be Donald Trump. That's not him. Anywho, that was fantastic. I had a good time with that. All said. Things are changing. Things are changing quickly. They're going to be changing around you. People around you are going to be going through change. We are the ripple makers. We are the people that I've talked about are the teacher of teachers. We're helping others around us through this. You understand what's happening in the big picture, so understand when it starts to manifest around you, you're there to help in any way you can, anywhere you're able to, but you're definitely there to help. Remember that. We're doing this together, shoulder to shoulder. I'm walking with you. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.